She worked on the Water Commission. Am I missing any other boards?
She was on the Friends of Newt.
Friends of Newt, yeah, that's right too. But
ZBA.
anyway, I'm sorry?
ZBA.
In the ZBA, okay, thanks, Larry. You know, it's, every time I ride by her house, I think of Lou, and, I'm gonna really miss her during budget, season. She worked hard for the community, and, I just wanted to give her a shout out. She was a great lady.
I totally concur with everything that you say. However, we are having a celebration for Lou on June 28th, starting at the Damon House. We have a tree being donated by Cameron's, a bench being donated by Pat's Prims, and then we'll go over to Newt for refreshments. But her heart was definitely in getting the Damon House together, and it is. The SAU is about to move in the end of the month, and the Friends of Newt. So donations, we will be accepting donations for the Friends of Newt so that they can continue in Lou's honor. So anyway, just wanted to put that out there that
Thank you, Peg.
people
Thank
are
you, Andy.
invited.
Yeah, thanks.
So, in light of that, could I ask for a moment of silence? Wait, hold on.
Go ahead. I'm just curious what time the 28th.
Oh, I'm sorry, 5 o'clock, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, well, you know, whenever. No, 5 o'clock.
Okay.
Okay,
Sorry.
may we bow our heads for a moment of silence and respect? Thank you, everyone. Okay, moving along here. We have on for website discussion. So we've been given understand that, David, you had given some information and highlights on how to improve our website.
Well, he actually gave us a proposal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
So-
Effectively, the proposal was two options. One of like a subscription-based one's
Mhm.
a flat redo it, and then you guys maintain it. Nowadays, I recommend the service approach. That way, I can keep adding and add more capabilities, and it basically never goes out of date. I don't know. Did you have any specific questions related to it?
Well, it's always about money too. I noticed it was $95 per hour for your current on-site rate,
Oh, that's for the IT.
Nope.
the IT.
It's different.
That's for the IT corporate.
Yeah, that
That
was
isn't
a-
part of the website, you didn't,
No, the website was a flat cost that was probably, I think Heather, last meeting mentioned something that's about half of the other quote you had, and then the service approach is just $80 a month.
So I think what we talked about last meeting was Heather was gonna send out the link to all the department heads
I did.
and see what we got for feedback. Did you get
I didn't get
any
any
feedback?
feedback, really. I know other people looked at it. I didn't get any negative feedback. That's, I guess, what's the big thing.
Yeah,
Did you get any feedback?
I didn't get any feedback either. I'm like, that's kind of another plus of the going off a subscription instead of a one-time thing is I can make changes as you get feedback. And like, if you want to change how something looks, that's easily done. And even now, in kind of significant, like, you guys need to figure out what colors you want it to do, what abilities you want in terms of being able to update it, how easily you want to be able to update it. That's a lot of the stuff that I've been working on over the last 2 weeks, is making it easier to update it. Literally, any department head will be able to update their own sections just by sending an email. That's kind of what that's the other plus of the service kind of thing, is the service-based approach, is I can manage and maintain all of that automated stuff.
So they could put a posting on if they have an event or
Right, or
Yeah.
like,
change of hours.
anybody that's authorized could just say, okay, here's the agenda for the Board of Selectmen's for this date. And they just send that as an email with particular information in it, and it shows up on the website. You don't have to, if one person is out who has access to update stuff, that doesn't stop you from being able to post meeting minutes, agendas, all of that stuff, all the notices and stuff that are on there. Something that I've already got a lot of plans in terms of capability added into the future. Things like being able to actually have general citizens of Milton can actually go, here's my email address, and I care about recreation and public works. And anytime any updates to either of those happen, they'll get sent an email that says, this got uploaded. So it's a better digital government mechanism. It starts pushing, allowing people to subscribe to information and just get it sent to their email box, which is what everybody's used to.
So I think as a board, I don't know what you guys' feelings are, but we need to make a decision on
So I'm not gonna wait for any feedback.
how we want to go
So
forward.
we didn't get any feedback yet.
I didn't get any feedback. I mean, I didn't get any. I don't. Nobody really. I know department heads played with it. I know other people talked about it. I don't know if you guys went in and played with it. Did you go in, Andy?
Yeah, no, I checked it out.
But I mean, I don't think as a board, we made a decision that we're going to hire David, or what
Well, that's
approach
on
we're
next
going to
steps. But,
take.
do you guys have anything, any,
I do, of course. Because I've done stuff like this too, you're getting them for nothing. Because $80 a month is a service thing, it usually is $100 to $200 an hour. This is nothing. You guys are getting a good thing, and he's talking about backups and a lot of other things too. On-site and off-site, so if your system goes down, he can get you back up.
thank you.
Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. No, I just didn't know if you guys had any input.
He doesn't blow his
No.
own whistle.
The old website wasn't hard for me to manage, so, to use, so I don't, the new one was a little easier, but I didn't really see any issues.
Yeah, unfortunately, we get a lot of complaints, you know, about the old website.
The biggest issue with the old website versus the new site is the fact that it's like, you pretty much couldn't use it on
You
the
couldn't
phone.
use it on your phone, exactly.
And like I mentioned a meeting or two ago, as of November of last year, surfing, doing the internet on phone surpassed all computers. So you kind of need to make it work on devices that more people are using than not.
No, I had no disagreement with the fact that you couldn't look any agendas up on your phone, so you couldn't really look up anything on your phone.
What about you, Nick? Did you try it?
I went on it briefly, but it was just briefly because there wasn't a whole lot there at the time. So I didn't.
Yeah, the basic
I didn't
structure
notice
is
a
the-
big change, but that's nothing negative against the site. It was all the same information again. It was mirrored right off of the information.
Intentionally, I was
Right.
like, I figured that, and that's my other intent on the approach, having done enough of this stuff. Everybody totally despises a drastic change.
Right.
So it's much easier to kind of redo the existing system.
And I think I was on my computer, not my phone, so I wouldn't have noticed.
Right. So the intent is to basically mirror the existing one and then improve the new system as time goes on. So it's not anything drastic.
the 2 minutes I spent on it wasn't enough to have much of an opinion.
Okay, thanks.
Larry?
So, do I understand that the development and maintenance costs are practically a pro bono donation, that the issues of platform are resolved, that we're still dealing with the local culture of social media use and expectation, and the presentation does no harm and can be ditched later if it turns out to be a dog? Is that a fair summary?
Yes.
Some of it I don't think applies, but okay.
It's your summary.
Have you been on the website, Larry?
No, I'm approaching this from a definition of the structures you say you want, what they should have, and what has been presented by an expert.
Appreciate your opinion. Thanks. Good.
Did we do an RFP, request for proposals? Is this the only proposal we got in, or? how-
This is the only proposal we had. There is another agency out there that does it.
Did we get an RFP?
We didn't do an RFP out. This was
Okay.
just something that we've been talking about for the last couple of months. The other agency out there that does it would do it at least twice as much, at least minimum, because I did talk to them. Actually, they've called, and I've talked to them a couple times. Minimum, so.
To be totally honest, the approach that ended up happening was me coming and going, hey, this is horrible. Then there was a push from internal to ask other companies for quotes of what it would cost to do that. And then that's where we're at now. It's like there's quotes from other people plus what I've done in terms of a quote. So we kind of skipped the proposal part and went straight to they got a bunch of quotes.
Because he was doing it anyways, kind of.
So his quotes, do we have the funds?
Yeah. It's under contracted services.
Okay.
I mean, it's up to the board if this is something they want to go forward with or not.
Do we pay anything now? We don't pay anything, right?
No, we do.
We do? Who we pay? Who is it?
It's part of, I think it's mock stock, but it's part of our,
And what are we paying them?
it's about $1,200.
A
$1,250.
year?
Mhm. And then this, a monthly charge, sure. It's under my contracted services line.
Yep.
So,
So,
let me just find it. It's lumped into contracted services, it's not itemized.
So basically, because I didn't know any of this, as it is, I'm already underpricing myself as it is because it's what you're gonna pay per month, what I quoted you of $80 a month is less than what you're currently paying. So in other words, the town's gonna save even more money off of the website just because of the fact that what I quoted is less than what you're currently paying for a system that doesn't work on mobile devices.
so I guess it's kind of a no-brainer, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine. If you want to make a motion,
The only thing
Brian.
is, I think it goes until August. I think our current, when I looked, it went
Yeah.
till August, so we have to wait till the contract comes up in August.
So it's gonna take some time to
Yeah,
finalize
it's good.
that.
We're gonna be
there's-
working, I'm gonna be working with department heads for several months before we're ready to turn the key and completely switch over from Moxdog over to this system.
So if our current contract is up in August, would August be an unrealistic date to shoot for?
No, it wouldn't be an unrealistic date. That works out about perfectly, actually, given that it's the first part of June.
Okay, so that gives me some time to turn these in.
So
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
we'll wanna go with David to improve our website, and we're gonna go with the, what was it called, the monthly, because he quoted it two ways.
Mhm.
We wanna go with the monthly services, the flat fee plus the monthly services going forward.
Okay, I'll second it.
Chair votes yes.
Okay, so,
Roll call. Okay, all in favor?
All right.
Thank you, gentlemen.
And then before we move along with that, maybe just try to help David get this going. Would the board kind of appoint me as lead to work with Heather and the department heads and Dave to keep this rolling and
Yeah, I'm seeing
get the
why not.
website
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
where it needs to be?
Yeah.
I just don't want to overstep anything without talking to
Yeah.
the board if
Okay, sure.
you guys are good with that.
got
All
a
right.
question? Mike?
Yeah, I think the selectmen should be more involved in different things anyway. Hi. What's your name? State your name.
Matt Morrill.
Hi, Matt.
So, I mean, no disrespect to anybody here, but pardon my French, I can already see what kind of a clusterfuck this is gonna turn into. Again,
Would
sorry.
you mind watching your language? We're on camera too.
Yeah,
please.
sorry. So, what a mess it'll turn into if it doesn't get put out to bid. No, I'm not saying he's not gonna get it or somebody's gonna come in cheaper, but I'm just saying it's gonna, once these minutes post on Facebook or wherever everybody reads it, and they know that it didn't go out to bid for multiple different people to bid on it.
Well, it did, Matt.
Oh, it already did go out to bid?
Yeah.
We've
we've
got
had-
other, we've
yeah.
had other
Request
bids.
for proposal?
Yeah.
Out to
We
bid?
didn't do a formal proposal, but we've had other bids,
Okay.
other quotes.
Yeah.
All right, fair
We-
enough.
But thank you.
Skip that, right? Okay. All right, motion carries. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Now we're at the IT bids. There's quite a background on some of these fellas here, or companies.
I don't know if you've had a time to
This is
review.
quite the, yeah, I mean, you guys gone over all of these?
Going over
Yeah,
them.
well, I looked at them, yeah. Heather, what, do you have a recommendation?
I really, I've got to kind of be neutral, I think, in this one, but I do think we've got some good ones. I do think you guys need to look at them.
How many proposals did we get? We did an RFP, then I take it?
Three of
How many
them.
proposals did we get back?
We got three?
Three.
No, what we're doing this, essentially, because
Yes.
we have problems, right?
Mhm.
So what are the problems? Can they be fixed? What's the cost compared to what we're paying now to these right here?
Some are less and some are more.
Okay,
I think can they be fixed? I think there's been a long-standing effort by a lot of people in town to fix the problems. I know for example, 2 weeks ago, there was an issue with email. And when somebody called to have it fixed, they were told to delete their email, and that was solved.
I'm sorry, I can barely hear you.
I said 2 weeks ago there was an issue with email. Somebody could not get email. And when they called our current person, the current person said, well, just have them delete their email. We can't do that. And they know we can't do that. Or they shouldn't. That was just an example.
are we under contract with him?
It expired last year. We have what was considered contractor rates. Just another simple thing is I've been hounding that individual to get the bills on a timely basis. And Friday he came in with a bill from December. And I said, well, I need these bills so we can pay them. That's last year. And he said, I know, I forgot to bill you for that. So, that's just a sample.
Do you have, by any chance, do you have his, service agreement?
I don't have it right here.
Mhm.
I went looking for it the other day. Nobody can seem to find it because it's an old one. But I know what we
No,
paid him.
because I just wanted to,
I want to know what we paid him last year.
no, well, that too, but I just wanted to,
I pulled that today.
look at his service agreement to some of these, but, what did we pay him last year?
This is the figure. That's the second page, and then this is what we paid so far this year.
This is just the bills though, not the service agreement.
That
right?
includes everything. That includes everything. The first two
What's
pages.
that number?
Yeah, there are two pieces. One, they're asking for the cost. The service agreement is what they're asking for, is what
supposed to
specifically
do.
tasks and
So-
What he's gonna provide
agreed
us.
upon.
Yeah.
The service agreement was written a number of years ago, from what I've been told, and it hasn't been updated.
Well,
That's part of the
that's what
reason
she
why it's
puts in her
expired.
budget to pay, for the IT guy. So the 12,000 is
Yeah,
what
but-
you put in your budget for,
We put in more because he was supposed to be paid more. We actually put in more last year.
so what is this 12,000
That's all he billed us
for last year?
But that's when I tell you, that's what I mean, that's part of the issue
And we've paid him the 4,000.
so far. But we have
Today.
another, today I processed a couple bunch of those.
Would it not make sense if it's broken? Can we have them come in front of us and with the number of issues and find out why they haven't been fixed
No, no.
and what we can do to fix it?
Well, I didn't get a bid from because I thought you guys didn't want me to, so I didn't.
Yeah.
'Cause you
I think
said-
it's past that personally.
What's that?
I think it's past that, my personal opinion.
Yeah.
I think it's time for change. I think we need a new IT approach in town hall, from what I've seen the short time I've been here.
No, I mean, I'm not gonna really argue with you. I mean, this almost really needs like a short workshop to try to, I mean, for me to sit here and try to decipher, these three,
I will tell you there's a
It's,
short workshop next, I think it's next week, a week after the, NHMA is coming on, either one. I'll find out the
No, I
date,
mean-
if you guys wanna go.
No, that's not really where I'm going with that.
Oh, okay.
I mean, amongst us, because I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, yeah, I can go home and get on my computer and do whatever I need to do, but for me to sit here and try to flower up anything about me knowing what really, there's people in this room that know a lot more about computers than I do. All right, and unfortunately, it's one of my downfalls. So that's why I really asked you for some of your input on if, because it's just not one of my strong areas, unfortunately. And I know, you know quite a bit about computers, but
it's not my strongest area either, but
that's why I think, for me to sit here and try to decide, who would be the best IT guy in that packet right there, wouldn't be good. So, and,
Hi, Peg.
What do I jump up and down? Anyway, the school district uses Back Bay, so I don't know if,
That's one of them in here, isn't it?
yes. So I don't know if both the town and the school use the same service, if both of us could get some sort of a little discount.
well, I actually asked Heather to call Back Bay because I knew that, they were the IT for the school.
Yep.
Did you contact
Yeah.
Back then?
Yep,
They're in there.
and she got a quote
Yeah, there is
from
a
'em.
quote in there.
And you guys like Back Bay? They have good service
Yeah.
for you?
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't. I don't know.
Are they a help desk, or are they on
sorry,
site, or what?
No, they're not on site, well, no, they're not on site.
So they
But
can't
they're-
really see what's going on.
But they're there.
They can be on site
Yeah, yeah.
if needed.
Oh, yeah.
They can.
And would
They
it,
remote in though, don't they?
I'm sorry, what?
They remote in to
Yes.
deal with the server issues for most of it.
I think the bids that we got, everybody said they could pretty much remote in, which is something that I think would help us and put us in a stronger position to have somebody, if we have a problem, call up and say, I've got this problem, and if they couldn't physically be on site, to take over the desktop and problem solve. I mean, I'm still getting junk email. You know, it's supposed to be all these firewalls that are in place. I'm still getting it.
So after finding a new IT guy, then we have to move forward with we have some problems with our server, right?
I believe so. So the person who looked at it told us that.
So
Actually, I think it kind of indicates that in the bids too.
Yeah, all the bids seem to mention that.
The server is outdated.
We have some IT issues with hardware in town hall that need to be addressed.
right.
So it seems like we're kind of wasting a lot of time here right now, and we've got a bunch of people here, so do we want to table this and create a day for a workshop to further discuss this, do some more research outside of here?
I think it's an excellent idea.
I do too. I just don't want to kick this can down
Yeah.
the road because this is
Do you
important.
want it for the 19th? On the agenda on the 19th?
Yeah, is it okay, you guys?
By the way, I have one suggestion, and full disclosure, I'm one of the bids, so this is what I'm saying, but Jim Smith does Seacoast Computers. I've already talked with him, he has no interest in doing small municipalities, especially any further north than Durham. He's really Seacoast. You might want to contact him in terms of kind of an arrange a contract to have him help you and guide you in terms of, he knows what he's looking at in terms of this stuff and would help you be able to better evaluate cost versus service and stuff like that. That would give you an outside source that's not one of your bids. That might be able to help better in terms of when you go to set up if you're gonna set up a workshop, see about trying to get him in for an hour or two to help you figure this out.
Decipher it, right? Can we
Decipher
get a hold of
it.
another?
Yeah, can you give me his number? Or so where is
Yes.
he?
Does the police department or fire department use anybody for consulting for IT?
One of our guy is, I believe, put a bid in,
Thank you.
Oh, is it the
Lenhart.
Linhoff? You like
We did the whole new fire station. Yeah. We've been using it for probably 5 years.
Systems?
So I'll get the number.
I mean, it might make sense to use the same person for, the same company for everybody too, I don't know. Seems kind of, no.
I've had the same IT, the police department's had the same IT guy the entire time I've worked for the police department. He built our system, he knows our system inside and out. He also knows our records management system inside and out. And I'm not gonna bring another IT guy in to teach them our record management system. It's not the easiest system to have to decipher.
Would he be able to set up the town?
I believe he was already in communication with
Okay,
Heather,
all
and
right.
I don't know if he.
He's in there.
Okay. And you have a different
Is
one?
in here?
I'll let him
So-
know.
Oh,
Same thing, he just built the system, I'm not really ready to turn it over to somebody.
Okay. It's not the same one that,
No.
And another piece, also separate from Seacoast and having Jim come in and help guide or whatever, maybe take all of the quotes and basically see if you can have each of them come in and say, what's broken, what do you need to fix, and find out who actually is the most competent in terms of being able to find out what the problems actually are and give you solutions before contracting for general maintenance. It's like first find out who can even fix what you've got, what you have in terms of problems before. The maintenance stuff is trivial. to be totally honest, when it comes down to it, it's like, once it's all fixed, the amount of effort and labor involved in maintaining a system should be minimal. The hard part is actually getting it all fixed up, which you wouldn't know until somebody comes in on, as to how well they're good, how good they are at doing that.
You've been downtown for a little while, David, right? Looking at stuff.
Hmm?
You've
Oh,
been
yeah.
down here, so do you think some of the cost would this be in equipment?
It's gonna be a higher, you're gonna have more labor costs than equipment costs. It's like, you have enough equipment that a majority of stuff can get repurposed and reused. It's mostly software. It's software fixes and configuration fixes and stuff like that. Like, you have backup software, but you know what, if it's not set up correctly, you have things like a virus kicking in, wiping out a computer, and you go to try and restore it, you can't. Like, if somebody's not regularly checking to make sure the backups are working, doesn't matter if you have the backup software. Like, I haven't looked enough to know how much server space you have in terms of, is that gonna do you for years to come? And again, it's all a trade-off. You can spend more money in terms of on hardware and software, and less money on labor, paying somebody to come and do the job, or you're gonna spend more money on somebody doing the labor and less money on the software and on the hardware.
So as you suggested, have these three people come in, to kind of answer some questions, but they would have to really take a look at what we have in order to give an accurate answer, correct?
Yeah, you've got these bids. These are all, all these bids, including mine, are all, this is how much it will cost to maintain a system that's properly configured.
A system, but we're not talking, are we talking our system?
In any system, it's like, these quotes should be based off of, you have 12 computers, they should have a basic understanding of what you have in terms of hardware, and based off of what you have in terms of hardware, they should be able to compute out and say, it's gonna take us this many hours per month, which charged at this rate, that means this is how much it's gonna cost you for us to maintain them, to check the backups, to make, do any software, all of that regular IT maintenance stuff that big companies have an IT department to do. They should be able to do the same thing. I'm like, that's basically how I came up with the numbers that I put in my quote. Was I know what the hourly rate is, and I figured out how many hours it should take for maintaining a computer system of this size. But that quote isn't counting how much it's gonna cost to fix everything.
Which I
It's
think
like you're gonna
all the
have
quotes in there reflected that.
Yeah,
from
you're
what
gonna
I
have
see.
I'm gonna make up some numbers that aren't even mine. It's like, somebody might say it'll cost $8,000 a year to maintain the system. It might cost you $30,000 the first year just to fix it all. After that, it should only cost you $8,000 a year. So even the quotes and the bids and stuff that you have aren't really a good judge of how much it's gonna cost for you to fix everything for the first year. Those are all after this year, how much it would cost. So you almost need to have them, like I said, come in, see what's wrong, and give you a fixed price quote of what it will take to fix everything, separate from the cost of what it's gonna cost to maintain everything. Because those are gonna be two separate numbers.
I personally think what we need to do is select what company we're gonna go with, and then from that point forward, we're gonna have them come in and make a decision on what we're gonna do for upgrades or what's needed for upgrades on our system, because I think we're gonna find that every IT company is gonna wanna do it a little different, has different ways of doing it to accomplish the same thing. Just my thoughts and opinion on it.
And what I've recommended to years ago, when I didn't do this service type work, when somebody asked me to give them advice on what to do, I was like, if you're gonna do quotes, you have all of these quotes and these bids, those are for the maintenance. Those same people, get them to give you a quote for what it's gonna cost for them to fix it. Add the two together and figure out which one, you need to look at the 5-year cost, not the 1-year cost, but the 5-year cost. You need to figure out, okay, yeah, this guy might only be charging you $5,000 a year, but he wants $60,000 to fix it all, versus somebody else might want $8,000 a year, but it's only gonna cost $10,000 to fix it. You need to add in the cost of what it's gonna take to fix it on top of the cost of what it's gonna cost to maintain it.
Well, that's our issues here anyways, is what it's gonna, because we're really broken, you know. Our computer system needs help. So our biggest thing is, what is it gonna cost to fix it? You know? I mean, what it's gonna cost to maintain it, that's not that's kind of an easy, you know.
Oh, it's a much smaller dollar amount.
Yeah,
The
I mean,
big dollar
but-
amount is gonna be what it's gonna take to fix it, but you're gonna need to use the same person. I'm like, because to be totally honest, if I go to if I were to fix it, it would be really fixed. You wouldn't be able to use really low-end IT people to manage it. I'm like, because it would be a little bit more complicated of a system, but it would, how stable something is and how rock solid your computer network is really a factor of how complicated it is. A more complicated system is usually gonna also be more stable. Like, because you've got redundancies to where, like, if a computer dies, well, if a good IT guy comes in, what he's gonna have is a completely separate computer sitting there in a corner that's not gonna cost much, that anybody can pick up and plug back in and keep working while they come and fix it. But again, that's a cost that would get absorbed into the first year because you don't have any backup systems like that. So that would be an additional computer that, it's a safety net basically to remove the downtime. It's a non-trivial thing.
So Lynette,
Your current IT person, have they done any type of diagrams of what we currently have as far as they haven't?
Nope.
You need an upgrade.
Larry?
Thank you. My ear was working back to an earlier conversation about what we had done for contracts in a different source. Had a conversation a couple of years ago with Liz, I don't know who came, but the town of Milton uses state contracts and purchase group benefit pricing for fuels and commodities. It uses a competitive bid process for contract purchases and point of purchase price review for department supplies. Bids are posted and noted as accepted, refused, or set aside as in the best interest of the town as statute and policy permit. The town obtains third-party expert review on any common content bids before it to that end. And if you follow that, you will have the answer to what David is bringing up, to what Lynette brought up about the diagram of what you're getting. You will have apples to apples for the two topics that David brought up, for what I will call
Upfront cost versus continuous cost?
upfront and continuation, because you will be able to do A, B, and pay some third-party brain to bring the differing contract bids in a common format flowchart, I think.
Thank you, Larry. Chief has something.
I
Chief?
think just to save yourself the headache, have the bids come in, look at the system they have. They can write up a scope of work that they can do for you on what they think they need to fix right off the bat without actually getting their fingers into your system, and then have them come in on the 19th and give you a presentation.
That's what I was thinking, that's why I was questioning David on that. That's an excellent idea.
Because once they have a scope of work, they can give you an actual price breakdown. When my IT guy rebuilt our server last year,
Yeah.
he gave us a complete scope of work. He already knew the server and what needed to be done
Yeah.
for the upgrade, but he gave us a complete scope of work. We knew exactly what the cost was going to be, and we could get it done and get it completed. So I think that's what you're gonna need to have happen first before they can actually give you a true price, which is what David's telling you.
Yeah.
But where you guys may not feel comfortable reading through their quotes and trying to understand and decipher their quotes, just have them come in, look at the system, and then give you a presentation.
Yeah, and talk English, yeah.
Have them give you flow charts and things like that so you can see what they're talking about.
So what do you think, fellas? You think that's the next step? Have
Sure.
them,
Do you want me to schedule and see if they can all come in on the 19th and try to give them like a block of, tell them 10, 15
well, they won't have to
minutes?
come in and take a look at what we have, right? I think that's what they were trying to
I
say.
think
They have to come in and take a look at what we have in
They
order to give
have.
an accurate price, right?
They have,
Yeah.
Mike.
They have?
Yeah, that's what my note
So then
said.
we need,
Oh.
because these
You
quotes
didn't
were
read my note, did you?
pretty
No.
much just for service, right? These
Yeah.
didn't include what we need for system
fix it.
upgrade.
Right.
So we would need to contact them again. I mean, not
That's what I'm
necessarily have
trying
to
to
come
tell
in.
you.
Yeah, but they did come in and look. Okay,
But that was just for, these are just service contracts.
all right.
Good advice.
Yeah, I'm betting you money that most of them, if they weren't here for like longer than 20 minutes to a half hour, they were just here long enough to see how many computers you have, how many servers. They know nothing about what your current problems are.
Well, that's where Heather will have to,
I said,
let them know.
yeah, I did have them spend, a couple of them spent some time here. Okay, so it's current ones, and then how long should I schedule each of them for? Tell them they have like 10 or 15 minutes.
I don't know, can they do that in 10 I don't know.
How many do you have?
3.
Right.
Should have 30 minutes apiece.
Let's meet in the middle and say 20.
Because we already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other things on the
Depends on
agenda.
how they talk to you. IT stuff may make
Yeah, I
your
know.
brain spin. They may be
No.
able to break it down into English and they
No,
can get it done.
yeah, I'm fine with that. If you want to
Yeah.
do 30 minutes, that's fine.
Chief?
Just listening to conversations, Rich's guy put in, my guy put in, Back Bay put in, and he put in, so I'm coming up with 4.
That's what I'm thinking. This might be 4. Because I think we ended up getting 4. I think I added. Okay.
Yeah.
Bring in the math.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we got 4.
So
That's-
even if you did a half hour with 4, you're at a 2-hour workshop. That gives you guys the ability to decipher all of their quotes and everything that they're gonna give you for their skills.
You want to do that during the selectmen meeting?
No.
You
Should
wanna
do a
plan another
workshop.
night? Do you want to plan another night?
Yeah.
We can do a
Anything.
workshop night,
Yeah.
right?
Just a workshop, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to call them all tomorrow, and then I'll email you all. And then
Okay.
you'll give me availability when I get availability from them. Is that good for that about 2 weeks? Oh,
You know, see how it plays out there. I mean, we gotta work with their schedule too.
okay.
See what they have for a schedule.
Okay.
All right, past that. Okay, next on the agenda is the Selectmen's Agenda Request Form discussion. I brought this back up again. Because I think I asked Tom Gray, former Chairman Selectman, if this was a policy, and he had said that it was a policy. And he had said that, I had asked him about what time frame that he had made this policy, and he said between '05 and '07. So, the first place I went is where we'll keep our policy. I went to the tax collector, and there was no policy in that book. She has no policy under the Selectmen's Agenda Request Form, number 1. And number 2, unless I missed it, and I probably could have, but there was a ton of reading. I went from '03 to '08, and I couldn't find it anywhere in the minutes. So this form doesn't exist. Unless you know, unless anybody else knows about this policy, this form doesn't exist. It's not a policy at all.
Practice.
Yeah, practice.
Past practice.
So what do you guys have to say about that? I mean, we've been hashing this around. In fact, it was on last week's agenda. It's just a waste of our time. It shouldn't even be on there.
So what are you saying, you don't wanna do them? Or are you saying you wanna make it a policy? I guess I'm confused on where you're going.
Well, it's not a policy, is what I'm saying first and foremost. Okay? Tell you the truth, I think people coming in who want to be on the selectmen's agenda should fill one of these out. Excluding the selectmen. The selectmen have comments at the end, and that's where they should put their input in. But first, we have to make this a policy first. We have to make this a real document. Right now, it's not a real document.
So I guess I just disagree with the fact of the selectmen shouldn't have to fill them out if, I mean, I get the selectman has the selectman comments to make comments. But if, as a selectman, we want something on the agenda, I think we should still be filling one of these out so it gives the other selectmen a chance to research and know what they're coming into.
Right, and is this the one that has the new language in it?
No,
No?
I don't think it
Where's the
is.
newest one with the newest language we had changed?
the next, this request is using the newer form.
Okay.
This is the old form.
Where'd you get this
Right out here.
one? Okay. This is on the website, the older.
I mean, I gave this some thought, and I've kicked it around both ways. But, and I've thought about it over the past week too. And, you know, I kinda actually now actually like the selectmen's agenda. I wasn't a fan of it before, but I got thinking about it, and, you know, I don't want to, I like not to be surprised.
Oh, no, I agree,
You
yeah.
know.
Yep.
So, I mean, we could actually make a motion if, you know, it's up to you guys to make this a policy, if you'd
Okay.
like. You know,
No,
it's
I
up to
think,
you, Mike, too. I mean, it's up to you guys. I think it's probably better to have, not to have. I mean,
Right, well, first and foremost, it's not a policy, it's not even a document, because it's not a policy, that's where I'm going with this first and foremost.
yeah.
So we've been using these as law, and we shouldn't have been.
but I think it was, I know when we made the change, we kind of all agreed as a group we were gonna use them. So whether it's a policy or not, it's a practice
No, and I
we
remember that
decided
too.
as a
Yeah.
group to use.
Come here, Chief.
I don't want you to miss your public hearing at 7 o'clock.
You're right, thank you, Chief. Okay, we'll put this on hold for a moment. Have an announcement, the time being 7 PM. Town Milton has duly posted and advertised a public hearing to the Town of Milton, New Hampshire, to hold a public hearing on Monday, June 5th, 2017, at 7 PM. The public hearing will be held at the Milton Town Office at 424 White Mountain Highway, Milton, New Hampshire, 03851, address, in the Selectmen's Chambers, for the public to discuss the plan for the Board of Selectmen to accept sealed bids for the old Milton Fire Station. This property is owned by the Town of Milton and is located at 460 White Mountain Highway, Milton, New Hampshire. Bids will be accepted at the Milton Town Hall until 4 PM on June 19th. Attention to the town administrator, and will be opened on June 19th, 7 PM during, the Board of Selectmen's meeting. The Town of Milton Board of Selectmen have set a minimum reserve acceptable bid for the sale of this property, in its present condition. I wish to open the public hearing I make a motion to open the public hearing, I'm sorry. Can I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Public comment. Larry Brown?
Thank you. Larry Brown, can you please specify the minimum reserve bid and the standards under which a bidder secures the purchase? I.e. a cashier's check of $10,000, $5,000?
I don't know the particulars on it. I don't know what they are. Did we set a minimum?
No,
We
we
said it
set-
was
we-
like
we've already set-
90,000?
Not supposed to be public.
Oh,
No,
I don't
we,
know what to bid.
we,
So the town does not have a reserve below which it will not keep the property?
no, if we don't meet our minimum reserve, we're gonna put it on our town auction property when we auction the rest of our properties off in Milton.
And that minimum reserve amount is?
Undisclosed.
Non-public.
It's not public. We're not telling you what the minimum reserve is, we were just putting it out for bid.
Does
Because,
the,
because if we tell you our minimum,
the-
go ahead, Larry, I'm
I'm
sorry.
I presume that the language says that the town reserves the right to refuse all bids received.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have the text of that?
We have this is what the attorney said was acceptable, because we're keeping a minimum reserve.
Okay.
We've
I-
gone to Cecil with
Did
this.
my ear miss the phrase minimum reserve?
In there.
has set a minimum reserve acceptable bid for the sale of this property in its present condition.
Thank you.
Yeah, chief.
If the board doesn't get to the minimal bid, or minimum reserve bid, has the board thought of keeping that building as a cold storage for records? At this point, I know Town Hall is busting at the seams for its records that it's mandatory to keep. The police department is busting at its seams for the records it's mandatory to keep. And I'm sure many of the other departments are the same way. If it doesn't meet the reserve, the building would need electric, and obviously it's cold storage, so it wouldn't need heat and it would not need water. Unless the fire chief tells me differently, I don't believe it would need either of those two things just to be cold storage. We would have to put a simple alarm system in there to protect the records and protect the cold storage in that manner. But it may be something that may be viable for the town where we are busting at our seams for records keeping.
I mean, I do appreciate your thought. I personally am not on board of keeping the fire station. The fire station isn't there for good reasons. The building is just, it needs a lot of work. I mean, right off the bat, we'd have to put a new roof on it. And then
It's foundation area.
the thing leaks like a sieve. And there's just other issues down there. That's why they're not there. And I think that the right thing to do would be to get this back on the tax roll, to try to make a little money on taxes with it.
Tied in with what you're saying, it's like, it seems like an appropriate approach would be to go contact, like Iron Mountain, contact a record retention location and find out how much are they gonna charge you per year to cold storage stuff. It's like, and evaluate it against the cost of what you would get out of that being on the tax roll. If it's almost the same price,
Well, I can tell you it's not, because you can build a 24 by 24 garage for about $12,000. That's gonna cost that for just the roof of that place. Nothing else. I mean, there's the water is pouring in the basement down there. You know,
So,
so, I
can I
mean,
just make a suggestion?
yeah,
I think this is all good conversation, but I think we should stick to the public hearing and stick to the fire station instead of veering off to records, storing the
Let's-
records. Not that, I'm not saying it's not a valid thing to consider, but
You're
I
you're
think
right
we
in
should
the
just
fact
leave
that
it
this
at that.
conversation is one step past that. In other words, you know, you might get the minimum bid, in which case all of this is moot and doesn't matter.
yeah. Good, Larry.
Last point, in my vast files, I believe it dates to 2007, possibly 5, I think 2007, an advertisement in Foster's for the, I believe, Canny bait shop, just to the north side of the water district property, which was for sale for $240,000, which noted that it was zoned industrial commercial, suitable for used car lot, suitable for RV sales. And it has taken some 9 years to get past the recession. If you follow real estate listings, the Seacoast real estate is going up. A business that buys a derelict building factors in the cost of demolition.
This is gonna get back to the fire station, isn't it, Larry?
This is, I am
Okay.
talking about the fire station.
Okay,
And I trust that in the undisclosed minimum bid, that the board has factored in that type of analysis.
No, I appreciate that, Larry.
anybody else? Okay, the board, anybody? Okay, I'll close the public hearing at 7:09. What's that?
You have to vote. to close the
Okay,
public
no,
hearing.
I need a second.
I'll second it, I'm
All
sorry.
in favor?
All right.
Okay. Motion carries. Okay, so back to the selectmen's agenda request form.
No, I mean,
What do you wanna do, guys?
You wanna make a motion to make it policy?
If that's what you request, yeah. We have to, if you're gonna make this false, we have to vote on it. What do you wanna do, Andy?
yeah, no, I mean, I would rather know what, if I have to, you know, do some homework. So, yeah, I have no problem making it a policy.
And then if things come up after the date that the agenda's posted, then that's when you have to use your selectmen comments to bring it up.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and the updated form too, not this one here.
Correct.
It's this one, right here.
Right, so,
Is it
That-
still gonna be
that
one
should-
single sheet like you have now?
yeah,
Yeah.
Call mine.
Yeah.
Keeping it simple for people is the best thing.
should make sure that
How
the
much
date,
is
the date of amendment was put on this.
Yes.
So you want me to make a motion to make the selectmen agendas request form a policy?
Yes.
So said. I'll second.
Okay. All in favor?
All right.
Next on the agenda is the waiver for the Salt Box Road. I really didn't read into this one, this is the only one I didn't touch. This is, we need signatures,
I need
this
signatures.
is a waiver for, right, because the fire apparatuses can't get down this road, or would have a hard time getting down this road. So, we've come up with a waiver form for the town of Milton that needs to be signed by the Board of Selectmen.
And it went before the planning board and
Right.
everything, so it's all
Okay.
done, met the statutory requirements. So if
Okay.
you can sign
That
it.
one?
Yep, I'll notarize it, and then he can fill this out.
So you get the letter for the planning board? Yeah, I know it was done, because it was there.
And the fire chief wants to speak to that.
Oh, go ahead, chief.
It's not that we can't get down the road, Mike, it's that it's not a town-maintained road. So they are waiving liability if we can't get down.
Right there,
In other words, if there's snow and
right,
privately plowed.
yep. That was my understanding, that's what I meant by it.
And it is really tight.
So what is the waiver for?
I'm sorry?
What is the waiver for? I mean, all I hear is that it's a private road.
So that the town will have no liability in the
It won't
event that
happen.
we, it can't be.
Trying to build a house.
I'm sorry, what?
They're building a house on a private road.
Okay.
The waiver is so that they can't sue the town because the town didn't rush out there to put the fire out because they can't get down necessarily down there.
Nice. I thought Bill went down there too. Sorry.
Okay, we're moving right along here. Wex cards.
Quick question, on that waiver, is there any language in there that allows them to revisit that if they were to, say, widen the road such that
The town would have to accept it before it becomes a non-private road, and then the waiver would probably not matter.
would be made
Yeah.
void because it's now, okay.
But it would have to be,
Have to go on up,
correct me if I'm wrong, Brian, but the planning board would have to accept the road and then
Except when we have to build the road, town
the
standard.
planning stand.
And wouldn't have to go on a warrant article too?
Change of that, good.
Yeah, no, that's probably never gonna happen.
Oh,
so I put Wex cards on here. We had a small discussion with some of the department heads, using the Wex cards, but it can't be done. So I guess, I'm gonna just take that one off, because it just can't be done. Can't use the Wex cards for private vehicles. So you guys
Yeah.
understand that?
Okay,
Okay.
yep.
Yeah.
Yep, we can find out.
The vehicle usage policy waiver.
Chief.
So you guys,
Mr. Kraus,
you guys are familiar, we have two members on the SWAT team. Our sergeant is a commander on the SWAT team, and the two current top commanders for the SWAT team are from Dover and Durham. They are both going to training on the 19th, 20th, and 21st. And the reason why I'm asking for the waiver is because Sergeant Faber is going to then, while they're in training, he will be the acting commander for the SWAT team. He and another Dover officer. So during those 3 days, should he get called out for a SWAT call out, the commander has different steps that they have to take. They may have to respond to the call out before they actually activate the SWAT team, because they have to make sure that it meets the standards for us to activate the SWAT team. So what I'm asking for is a waiver on that for those 3 days, the 19th, 20th, and 21st of this month, to allow him, if I have a cruiser available, to have a cruiser at his residence, so that if he has to respond to a SWAT call out, he can go direct from his house instead of having to tie him up, where he has to come back to town, get the cruiser, and then go to the call out, where he's acting as the commander for that point.
yeah, it makes perfect sense.
So, based on the policy, I need to have that waiver from you guys. So if you guys are voting to allow me to do that, then for those 3 days, if I have a car available, he will have a car at his house.
Okay, I'll make that motion, so said.
For the vehicle waiver policy.
And I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, chief. The deputy treasurer appointment. Hi, Pam.
You have my memo there. There's two people who have come forward who'd like to be deputy treasurers. It's Loretta Banks and Al Banks. As you read through your memo that I gave you, they've been residents of the town of Milton for like 50
Do you
years.
have a memo?
I don't have a
I
memo.
don't know.
It was in your box. I personally put it in your box. But I will tell you what I said.
Yeah, so if it doesn't get attached to the form, I didn't think I saw it. It was just in my box, or you put it in everybody's box?
When'd you do that?
Last Thursday. Anyhow, they've been residents for 50 years now. They're well known here in the area. Mr. Banks taught at the high school for a number of years. He's now retired. They're both retired, and they would be available to do this. They've been very active at the townhouse, working on the townhouse, and also at the New Hampshire Farm Museum. So they're long-term residents and people that I would feel safe and comfortable with being deputy treasurers.
Go ahead.
And they would only,
Only
were-
if I was sick
right,
or something like that.
right, just take your place.
If we want to go back to when we had election time. I've been treasurer for 19 years. There's only 2 days in those 19 years that I was not able to do the treasurer's duties. And those particular 2 days was days that I was not even scheduled to work. So, but looking forward, we just don't know, what can happen.
Okay, and, do you have where's the deputy treasurer now? Do you have one now?
Pam Merrill is the deputy treasurer. If you gentlemen approve of this, then she would like to resign.
Okay. Well,
So-
go.
I just question on how this normally works in the past. I mean, they'll have access to the bank accounts and everything.
Mhm.
So do we do any sort of, like, background check before we appoint them?
Yeah.
Just to confirm, I mean, other than, do we normally do that, or is that?
Well, yeah,
We never have, but that's entirely
yeah, we have to. We have to move forward. We have to. I
Yeah,
mean,
sure. Yep. And they are bonded. If they are town employees, they are bonded.
okay.
That actually came up in the audit the other day. I was doing a questionnaire. Do you have additional bonding for you and the deputy treasurer, or just what the town provides? That was
Just what the town provides.
okay. That's what I thought, but I just wanted to check since you just mentioned it.
So if you do approve, then I will tell them they need to get background. They'll come in and get the information they need to do from the payroll clerk, as far as they need like 2 forms of identification. There's forms they have to sign, and then we have to go back and sign those signature cards we just signed to add Ryan to it.
Would the chief want to speak to this? Or?
And then the chief does the background.
Well, they'll need to have their fingerprints done, and they'll need to have, the fingerprints will do a criminal record check on them. So they'll have to have that done. It should be done the same way as the town clerk's deputies when they're brought on. If they're handling money, they should have those things at minimum done. They don't need to have, the full in-depth background investigation like I did for the TA, but they at least should have the criminal background check done.
So it's not excuse the pun, 911, but we can wait till the background check comes back
Mm-hmm.
before we make that
Entirely up to
decision.
you.
So that won't have to be conditional.
Yeah, as long as the backgrounds come back.
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, she's gonna have her.
We can make that motion that way, as long as the background, after the background check.
So we have one deputy treasurer right now, and you're asking to appoint 2?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Only one would be working at a time, obviously.
Well, if you approve these 2 people, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so-
Absolutely, yeah.
I've done this with all the department heads, so
Yeah.
I'm good with her approval. And how soon would, how soon would the president, Pam Merrill have to
She is waiting
resign?
until you say that you accept the 2 new ones.
Okay.
So if you want, we'll go through the background check first.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just curious, do we need 2?
They seem to think we do, Ryan.
Well,
Who's
I think
they?
what Ryan's asking is,
No, we
can they
need
make a
2.
motion that your 2 nominees be accepted conditional with passing the background check?
No,
That
that's-
way, the
And then
moment
Dave,
he's
and then
done-
David, it doesn't happen, so people in town are gonna think, uh-oh, the background check, there was something wrong with the background check.
No, that's not
That
actually
wasn't
what
my
Ryan was
question.
saying.
My question was, we have one deputy treasurer right now, we have historically have had one,
Mhm.
and we're going to two. And I'm just curious to know why. That's what I'm
In
asking.
case one is not available, the other one would be.
But we've only had one for years and never have had an issue.
Right. So if you only had a problem twice in 19 years, that doesn't mean it's gonna be that way going forward.
Okay.
Larry?
The language, there are two available applicants to handle the occasional duties of one single deputy when the primary treasurer is not available. There are not two individuals available concurrently, neither do they become a paid staff to the treasurer in the same way that the deputy town clerk is paid staff to the town clerk.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. As long as the backgrounds come back, we'll move forward. Okay.
Are we appointing them or not?
Well, if we appoint him, we have to do it conditionally.
So it, the background checks.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't mind.
Historically-
That's why I asked if it was a 911. If you want to appoint them conditionally, I'm fine with that too. I'll ask the board, how you want to handle this.
historically, I think we should do the background checks first, and then hire them.
Yeah, like I said, I asked everybody if it was a 911, and it wasn't.
Okay, so is that the decision we're making? We're gonna wait for the background checks to come back. Once the background checks come back and they're clear, we'll appoint them then. And in the meantime, the current deputy treasurer will,
You stay
Pam
on
will
with
still
them.
be our deputy treasurer.
All right, thank you, Pam. Next on the agenda is the RSA 289:13 Cemetery Association termination. John Catwick?
Yes, sir.
You can have the floor if you want it.
Did you read the Board of Selectmen citizens request form that I've done since 2008? Question.
No.
I submitted it 5/3/2017.
I got that one.
The whole background of all the information that I'm requesting.
Yep.
Did you read it all?
No.
Would you please take the time to read RSA 289:13, Chair?
At the top, first page?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see, the Milton Mills Cemetery Association termination process under RSA 289:13. Any cemetery laid out by an individual or corporation and location within the municipality in which all lots have been sold and for care for which trust funds are held by the municipality may be deeded to the municipality with no implied financial liability to the municipality for the maintenance of the cemetery over and above the trust fund income, provided that the municipality votes to accept such cemetery transfer. Municipalities may raise and appropriate additional funds for the care of such cemeteries. Upon the transfer of the title of the cemetery, the municipality cemetery trustees shall have the sole management responsibilities for the cemetery.
Okay, so everything you read on the RSA 289:13 gives the answers 1, 2, 3, but not 4. Would you read 1, 2, and 3?
Sure. 1. Corporation is located within the town under map 9 lot number 111 and number 117. And the guideline we use for all these lots has been sold was an email shared with the Milton Mills Cemetery Association from the town of Gilmington Cemetery Association termination with the suggestion of the charitable trust unit email below. 2. All Milton Mill Cemetery Association, cemetery perpetual care funds are held by the town of Milton trustees of the trust fund, refer to attachment MS9. 3, maintenance of the Milton Mills over and above the trust fund income has been raised and appropriated. Note attached article below.
Okay, the article below on number 3 that you just read, all it states is it went up on a warrant article, and it was accepted by the voters to budget $10,000 a year to do this new public cemetery owned by the town of Milton today. Number 2, it states that all perpetual care funds by law are maintained by the town of Milton. They always have been maintained by the town of Milton.
Yeah.
And as you're all aware of, I just spent several hours with the Attorney General's office and our town lawyer in meeting over there and having meetings to teach them to, our town lawyer and the Attorney General's office, that we have never held perpetual care funds in the Milton Mill Cemetery, being private. So that's been solved. The only thing here that we need approval from the Board of Selectmen is on number 1. And the Attorney General's office recommended we follow the same process as Buzzell Cemetery that you just read. So what it means in a short sentence is that we, the Milton Mills Cemetery Association, have to stop selling lots during this transaction when you want to transaction private funds to public funds back and forth. So I stopped selling lots with the Milton Mills Cemetery October 10th of 2016, and I'm looking for approval to start selling them again today because we're town owned now. It'll be public money. You understand all that?
Yep. Thank you, John.
Yep.
I'm looking for a motion.
I'll make a motion for the Milton Mills Cemetery Association to start selling lots.
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
The motion carries.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Sorry I didn't read it, John.
That's okay. That's what that Board of Selectmen says the request form is for, that we don't have a policy for.
Okay.
Practice.
Okay, next we have the approval of the minutes.
Have you,
Yeah.
fellas read them? Have you read them, Mike?
Yeah, I have, yes.
Okay. Any issues?
It's not really a big deal. You wanna, on the May 15th one?
I'm on,
You can do the 16th, okay.
I'm on May 1st, but
All
May
right,
1st,
you could do them
2000.
individually.
What page?
Do you have an issue with May
No.
1st?
Nope.
Mike?
Nope.
Good.
I'm good, so I'll make a motion to accept the Board of Selectmen's meeting minutes for May 1st, 2017.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, and on to May 15th, 2017.
Page 5. Just missed the last 2 letters on my last name. I think it might have been a mix-up between my name and your name again. Almost. Easy to do. Last
Yeah,
bullet.
related.
And that's it.
So do you wanna,
Where is it?
Accept them as amended. Page 5, the last bullet. Here, if you want this copy, I got it, sir.
Right here. See it? Yeah, on page 5, yeah, it's right. It's not even on there.
Unless I get
Is it right here?
Right here.
Right here, see this?
Yeah.
Yeah, right here. So second line, under $2,000.
Yeah, I see that.
Then go down and you'll see it.
It's not on her copy.
On my copy.
Yeah, I know, it's on mine. I
Oh,
got
okay.
it. It's on my copy.
All right, so anyways, I'll,
I printed these out to make, and all I did was take the watermark off.
Do you have a? So,
It's weird.
Anyways, not a huge deal, but
no. It still is duly noted. Oh yeah, look at the Amazon.
The only thing it changed is maybe when I took the watermark, it changed the pages off.
oh, it might have changed the pages off a little bit.
Yeah, you're missing like half of this paragraph here.
Is it going up on the next page?
Nope.
So where is it?
I don't know.
so anyways,
Definitely
you know,
need
I'll
another
make,
can
a-
do it.
person.
yeah, I'll make a motion, to accept the minutes, Heather, with the amendments.
His name's
Okay.
spelled. Let me have both copies.
Yeah, you're gonna fix this thing?
Yeah, I'm gonna figure out how to marry them.
Okay.
Great.
You sign that and I'll just fix it. But all I do is go for, it's so weird. Yeah, I see that now on this one.
Here. Got that one, that's my copy right there.
Okay, thank you.
And attach, well, fix it, put it back on.
Okay,
Just fix page 5, that's all you'd have to do.
right. So weird.
Now, next is the treasurer's report.
Is there that in there?
Hmm?
Should be in there.
No, I know I had it, I just misplaced
I gave
it,
it
that's
my
all.
copy today.
Yeah.
Well, the bookkeeper the other day, so I'm gonna keep it.
You guys have any questions on that?
I did not, or I do not.
No?
So you supply this document to the Board of Selectmen, correct, Pam?
Right.
Do you also give it to the Budget Committee too?
They get it quarterly.
They get a quarter, well, going into budget season, we probably should get it as much as we get it here.
I'll talk to someone on the budget committee then.
Thank you. Right behind you.
2 of them, 3 of them, 4 of them.
In fact, we've already talked about it, Mike.
Okay, good. Good. I did look at it earlier.
Okay.
Okay, no questions? We'll move on. The expenditure report.
We've been working on this, trying to get it cleaned up for you.
Right,
Or
I
budget
appreciate
for
that.
everybody, actually.
Yep,
I know I ran one this afternoon. Mine is probably where the chief was the first one to notice some major things. We got, I think, some of his cleaned up. I know Kathy's gonna work on a couple of more items on his. Because when we met with Joanne and Vanessa, who's really taking off, she's getting things done. She's did payroll by herself. She's pulling reports quickly. She noticed there was a couple things that she didn't want to touch, and Joanne really wanted Kathy to go back where Kathy made the entries to fix them. So we're trying to have the person who did the entry fix them. But the chief noticed some things, so we're taking care of those. Different departments where we're finding errors, we're fixing them. We went a few months without a bookkeeper, and so different items got allocated to the wrong accounts. And that's really what we're trying to clean up. I know Highway's supposed to have theirs for me tomorrow. I was actually over there today and talked to them a little bit about it. So hopefully I'll have some, I think the budget committee meets tomorrow night, is that correct?
20th.
Yes.
Mm.
No, the 20th.
No.
No, 20th, oh good,
Planning board.
planning board, okay. Alright, so if they meet the 20th, I hope by Friday we should have this totally cleaned up. That's my goal, and so then I'll put new copies by then, at the end of the week. Okay?
Yeah, there were quite a few in here, and,
They just put, weird things were put in weird places.
yeah.
And like my postage, the postage meter had to be set every month, we found out. And it wasn't, so it was getting cumulative, so that's why my postage was so far over. That's a major thing. So there's a whole bunch of little things that can add up.
That and the fuel lines too were not accurate.
I remember the postage going
Yeah,
really wacko.
so it's still really a work in progress, but it's a lot better than it was before.
So we're getting there. And I'm really impressed with how quickly Vanessa's been able to grab things and get going on things. She's really made a difference.
Good.
Okay, any questions, guys?
No? Okay.
So just at your leisure, just kind of goes down through them and take a look at them. Until I did, actually started looking at every single line as I went down there. Wait a minute, that ain't right. So, make notes on it.
So some lines were added instead of subtracted.
Yeah.
Those kind of things. Those are being addressed.
Okay, administrative comments.
A couple things I have. I need to ask the board, first off, the auditor's been working on different tying up things so we can get our audit done the next couple weeks. One of the reports is an inquiry of those charged with governance, and for 2016, the chairman of the board was Mr. Tom Gray. So he needs to fill out this form, just a questionnaire, but in order for him to do that, he asked me to have the board of the selectmen approve him doing this for the auditor.
What is this for?
It's for the auditor.
Yeah.
And it's an inquiry for those charged with governance, and it's a questionnaire for the audit, for last year's audit. So I would like to have the board give me approval to have him do it, and I already spoke to him about it. He said he'd be happy to do it, but he wants your approval.
Yeah, that's fine.
Can you make a
Do you
motion?
need a motion?
Mm-hmm.
I'll make a motion to have Tom Gray do the audit questionnaire.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay. Next thing I have is a memo from Betsy. She cannot be here tonight. To remind you all about the parade, and of course invite everybody to participate in the fun, which will be on the 4th of July in the Mills at 10 a.m. And start at 10 a.m. at the library, walk up Main Street to the church, and back to the library. She also made me want to make sure I point this out to Ryan, that she hopes she'll join them with maybe bring some of your antique cars or your antique car enthusiasts. Subtle hit, huh?
So used.
I ran into her a few days ago.
Okay, well, okay. Nothing like asking me on camera, huh?
That's right.
And your answer
Pressure
is-
on. I'll see what I can do.
All right.
It's a tough weekend.
Michelle got this call today and made me promise to read it because she couldn't be here tonight. So she'd like me to bring this to the board's attention, and then you can discuss it. A resident called and wants New Hampshire to be on the map to recognize the issue of global warming and how it relates to the Paris thing. That's a quote. She would like Milton to take a stance on Trump's decision to pull out of the Paris initiative. This was from a resident. And the resident asked that I have Michelle, or asked Michelle to bring it forward, and now Michelle had asked me to bring it forward and wanted to know if Milton would like to make a stance on this issue. Because I guess no town in New Hampshire has to date.
I'm not gonna comment.
No comment.
Okay, the message was
No
delivered though.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. then we're moving on to, the fire chief has got something for me to bring on. A motor vehicle bill of sale. In consideration for, this is the pickup sale of the utility vehicle to the town of Farmington. It's a consideration to the town of Farmington for this utility vehicle, and he just needs to have you guys approve this.
Mhm.
Okay? So that's what I've got for you. And also,
Do you need that for tonight?
Yeah, if you can.
I think he really wants it tonight.
I think we've discussed it.
Oh, yeah.
We have, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know if you want to make a formal motion. It's been discussion in the past, it hasn't been a motion. So,
Well,
and the sale price, it's all right on the bill of sale. And then the other thing we discussed that should probably be in the formal motion is that the proceeds will go towards the purchase and outfitting of the new utility vehicle.
Yes.
like we had discussed.
Yes, that's the second part. I was gonna get them to sign it first.
So, I'll make a motion, to sell, a GMC model 3500 HD year 2002 utility, long van, to the town of Farmington for the sum of $10,000.
You want to add to that motion and the $10,000 to be applied to,
Yeah, well, yeah, that's all done anyways. The 10,000, you've got it all figured out to where it's gonna go back into your new truck.
Correct, I think that should probably be in the form of the motion.
Yeah, add it to that.
Okay. As in condition, the purchaser acknowledges, okay, that's as is. So the 10,000 that the town of Milton will be getting will be going to put towards the new vehicle that they're gonna purchase.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Motion carries.
I don't know who signs that.
Somebody.
Right up here, it says Town of Milton, that's where it's signatured. Need a motion for the chair to sign.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Finally, I have something from Karen. The Board of Selectmen has to give the approval, they are the hiring authority for the beach personnel. So, she has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 people at the beach that I need to talk to you about. They are, I've actually got little write-ups for you, I guess.
So let me just read the names and make the motion and.
Do you want me to just read them to you? You can do it, or I can do it. Okay.
Yeah, I'll read it.
Okay. The last 2 on this list, we've already hired, so we don't need to rehire them.
Yeah, I've gone all
Chief has a
this. Go ahead, chief.
If you guys are hiring or talking about hiring someone, shouldn't that be under non-public?
Thank you.
They're not employees, so you
Yeah,
can't
that's
technically
true.
state their names in a public meeting. You have to do it under non-public until they've been hired.
True.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you want to do it as a
We'll
block?
do it, we'll do it at the
Okay.
end of the,
All right. Well, that's what I've got. She wanted me to do it this meeting.
I'm all
Thank you, Chief, to be honest. I don't have anything else. Oh, did somebody say something at the department head meeting about getting a dunking booth too?
Oh, yeah.
Did I mention? There was talk about there's gonna be the spring kickoff thing, Majig, this weekend, and summer kickoff, and there
There
was
you go.
the talk about the summer kickoff, and suggestion was made that there would be a dunking booth, and people would be needed to participate in that, and they were looking for volunteers.
Does anybody ever volunteer? I think you appoint.
So I was
see,
asked.
heated?
Is it you?
I was asked to bring that to the selectmen's attention. As a kind of a subtle hint.
We'll talk about it.
Moving on.
Wetsuits.
Okay, selectmen's comments. Ryan?
Let's see. couple weeks ago, I ended up going to that local officials workshop put on by the NHMA. And I just wanted to share with you guys that it was a long day, but it was well worth taking the time to go. I really enjoyed it, learned a lot. Very informative. I would recommend any elected official to go if they've never been. And quite honestly, I was surprised at the beginning of it. They asked how many people had been to one before, and I would say at least half of the people in the room had gone to one. They talked a lot about the right to know law, governance, how the town's supposed to work, and also how officials within town are supposed to work with each other and who has authority over what. Covered a little bit about roads and then ethics and conflicts too. So if you have the opportunity to take the time to go to it, it's definitely well worth going. I don't know if you guys have ever gone in the past, but I figured I would just share that with you.
Thank you.
They put a book together that you get when you go to the seminar. So it's just kind of a general overview with a lot of information.
Nice.
All right, and then a question at the last selectman meeting, when you mentioned the 91A concern about adding a line item to the budget, you threw a number out of what we had spent on 91As. I was wondering if, because the number I saw, I couldn't come to that number, so. Just wondering if you could just explain to me how
Yep.
that you came to
The
that
attorney
total.
fees were $1,600, and then David Koppel's fee was $400 or $500.
No, it was about three, a little over three.
Okay, it came close to $2,000.
But the 1,600, I didn't see any attorney fee bills for that.
Yeah,
That's-
I can get it for you. I have it.
Yeah, I saw 1,600 somewheres.
Yeah.
But I thought, wasn't that something to do with, was it the cemetery, or was it?
No, there's an explanation on it for the 91As.
Was that the monthly retainer and then the meeting he had with the cemetery? I think that's what that was. There was two bills that month.
Yeah, the one he's talking about, right.
The monthly retainer, and then there was a bill for the cemetery that month too. John knows about that.
Yeah, there's a $530 or $40, $540.10 to do with the Milton Mills Cemetery Association. That my feeling is that whoever signed the check paying Mr. Sessler, you should have reviewed it closer before you agreed to pay it. You should have talked to me. Anyway, it's water over the dam, so it's a mistake you made, that's for sure.
Well, when you're signing the checks, it's not itemized.
Well, the thing about it is, it would,
I mean, I don't sign the checks. I'm just saying it's not on the check. It doesn't say,
yeah, well, anyway, let me just explain it one quick way so you understand it clearer. When it said Milton Mills Cemetery Association, right away it should raise a flag. That association is a private one, not town. For the cost of doing this legal stuff. And they should have raised a flag. And whenever you have anything to do to pay any invoice or anything for anything to do with the cemetery of the town of Milton, there's 3 cemetery trustees that you should consult before you agree to pay it.
It's not too late.
Well,
What's too late about
maybe
it?
you ought to take a look at it then.
I questioned him, and he said that had to do with because the trustees were involved. It had to do with the trust fund money. That's why he would get billed separately for it. Because I did question that bill after talking to John. But going back to what we were talking about, that's what I think that additional fee was.
Because to tell you the truth, I know what you're talking about, and I personally,
Because I talked to Karen,
yeah.
I talked to John, then I called Jim, and I said, and he said because it was involving the trustees of the trust funds, that's why they got charged the additional fee.
Okay, but back to
Yeah, so
the
back to my
91A.
question.
Okay,
Kind of.
so I'll get it for you, Ryan. I have it.
Okay.
I remember seeing it was for the 91As. In fact, there's more charges occurring now too, incurring. There's another $800 here for that.
Yeah, but Well, that's a different thing. Isn't that something that wasn't really done correctly?
Regardless, it was for the same thing.
But I didn't think we were gonna pay it, because they didn't do what
No,
was
the
asked.
attorney wasn't gonna pay it, okay? Now it's falling onto our laps. So
Why would we
either,
pay for something that
well, then you
wasn't?
make a decision on to pay it or not to pay it.
It's not me making a decision, it's the board making decisions.
Right, that's why I'm saying, if you don't wanna pay it, then we need in a form of a motion not to pay it.
Okay, I mean, that's a completely separate thing from what I'm talking about, so.
No, it's still under the 91A, it's still for the same thing.
So that just came in, you're saying, though?
Yes,
Yeah, so I wouldn't have seen that last week.
Right.
When I was trying to get to the figure that
yep.
you had mentioned.
Well, right, and I'm just saying that more charges have occurred since then, is what I'm saying.
Okay, so if you can just give a copy of that bill to Heather, and I'll
Sure.
Tied in with the 91A and going back and tied with the IT service, that should be something that's actually built into whatever your IT service is in terms of getting them to budget to tell you how much is it gonna cost to do this and what their solution is for that, so that it doesn't cost you $1,000 anytime somebody wants a query of all the emails.
Sure.
So that because that's gonna be separate from if you have to do paper searches, but the computer searches should be tied into your IT services.
Well, one way or another, you're gonna pay. You know.
Yeah, but my point being is that also filters out to make sure that whoever you have doing your IT services knows what you're even talking about if you ask that question.
Thanks, David.
Okay.
All right, and I just got one last thing. I couldn't do a selection request form for this because by the time I got an answer from the attorney, it was too late and the agenda had already been posted. But there was the lawyer privileged email that all of us were on. And I'm just concerned about some liability the town has at 254 White Mountain Highway. And I would like to make a motion to authorize Heather to work with the town attorney to eliminate that liability to the town.
And how do you think that they would eliminate that liability?
Jim explained it all in that email that was sent last week. It was all well outlined in the email what needs to be done so the town will not be liable and protect the town. It's in the
Well-
best interest of the town.
Yeah, I agree. So I want to review the email again. I did read it. But quite
I mean, I
frankly,
asked for
was-
your
I
input
was-
too, and you never responded.
Well,
so.
it's the email thing again, Ryan. I wasn't going to email you because it then creates that 91A thing again. So no, I wasn't
Mike.
going to get back to you.
Any emails that Jim Sessler on is under 91A and we're completely covered. It's no different than if Jim was in the room and we were having a non-public session. It's the
So
same
if
thing.
if I had emailed back to you,
No, you would have replied to the group like we do on other emails when Jim's on them.
As
It's
long
nothing
as,
new.
long as the lawyer is
Yeah.
in the query, then it's fine. But
Yeah.
it can't be amongst us three.
so yeah, I want to review the email again. I want to review the documents. I'm not going to make a decision tonight.
Andy,
I actually want to look at this a little bit more. I want to talk to our code enforcement. I think by just allowing Heather and I mean, there's other avenues to take. Before it goes to Heather and the attorney. Kind of.
well, I mean,
Let Brian do it.
it would be Heather working with Brian and the town attorney.
Well, you didn't say that.
Okay, well, I missed that part. It would be, I mean, Brian's really the guy doing the work. It's up to Brian. I mean, with the assistance of the town attorney and Heather, I was just trying to get somebody to keep it rolling, that's all. Which, with the chain of command, I mean, Heather's in charge of town hall, and Brian works at town hall, so that's what I was going after.
I mean, if,
I'm just concerned there's a liability to the town, and that's why we're here, to make sure there is no liability to the town. And Jim was very clear in the email that if we choose to continue not to do anything and something happens, the town will be liable.
if Heather wants to work with Brian, I mean, wouldn't you think that'd be a fair assessment, Mike?
Yeah,
If Heather wants to work with Brian, I'm fine with that. Because there is, yeah, I'm fine with that. Okay?
So are you seconding my motion?
Yes.
You a roll call?
so you're gonna have, the motion is to have Heather and Brian work together on this?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. We have a motion, we have a second.
I'll second it.
Yeah, motion carries.
Brian, can you talk to Emily?
Is that it?
Yep.
So everybody knows Milton Summer Kick. Thanks, Ryan. So everybody knows Milton Summer Kickoff is this coming weekend. Karen is still looking for vendors if anybody's interested. We do have the boat races Saturday and Sunday, so that's always fun to watch. So if anybody's interested. There's other events going on down there, but there is still time if you're interested in being a vendor. It's $5. I mean, to bring whatever you want down there and participate. So I think it's a good. It's going to be good. It's going to be a good weekend. I heard. So there are still openings for the summer camp. That starts June 26th. There's still a few slots, like I said, so if anybody's interested in having their youngins go to the summer camp, it's for 8 weeks. It starts June 26th, so there's that. There's Arts in the Park. That starts June 28th, every Wednesday at 10 o'clock. That's free family entertainment for 8 weeks. So that's nice too. So the last thing I have is we had one of the beach employees put up cameras down at the town beach, and he is willing to put cameras up in the town hall. We've been kicking this can down the road for years. Liz had the money in her budget, and I think that it's a very important project to do and get it behind us. So this particular staff member put all the cameras up down at the beach. They work great. They've already helped us out on one occasion. So if I just wanted to get you guys' approval. It's not going to go over what she has in her budget, in her line item to do the job, and it's nice that we have this town beach employee that's willing to do it. So I really just need you guys is okay to, if you want to move forward with putting the cameras up in the town hall.
We talked about this before.
Yeah.
So is there a plan of where they're going? And
Yeah, well, he'll get with Heather, and put them and maybe the chief has some input on where, where the best locations for the cameras to go. So, but it wouldn't cost any more than she has in her budget for the system.
I think the chief could help too, because I think any place that cash is handled, obviously, but I also think there are some key places coming and going in this building
Yeah.
for security reasons.
And it's just for the safety purpose of
That's what I'm
having
really thinking.
the cameras is, I think, is really important. So, we need to protect our, staff here and the building, and so.
David?
Question, maybe Chief might know, because I don't know New Hampshire laws well enough yet. In Florida, you have to also have a bunch of signs posted indicating that there are cameras in place for public buildings like that.
Only if it's audio.
Only if it's audio? Okay.
If there's no audio recording, then there's no requirement under New Hampshire's wiretap law.
Okay. In Florida, just the video is enough that it require, if it's being actually recorded.
Yeah, if the camera has audio ability, then you should post signs.
So, and I don't mind even if I know these particular cameras he showed me don't have audio, but I still have no problem putting a sign somewhere saying that there's cameras. So what do you think? What do you think, Mike?
Yeah.
Okay.
Price is right.
Okay. Yeah, well, it's not gonna be any more than she has in her budget. She has $1,000 in her line to put cameras in this building. So, and he's willing to do it. I mean, he works for he works as a maintenance guy, so.
That question, that includes the pricing of the system to
Yep.
do the recording, the actual recording stuff too?
Yep, comes with the DVR and we have one down at the town beach. It works great. So,
Yeah, video tells 1,000 stories.
so I'll just have them get together with you.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
That it?
That's it.
Okay. So did you guys all get this packet? It's the financial?
No.
You guys get,
You said for you wanted written and you wanted them, you were gonna review it and then I was gonna make them copies too.
okay. So John has promised the meeting or the meeting before that, I had Heather put together the financial policies in this. So one of them's outdated, I'm gonna update it with the newest one. I'm gonna hand it off to the other two and we're gonna start working on it, all right?
Thank you.
Welcome. That's all I have. Public comment.
I have two. One is on your minutes. Why do you keep draft on your minutes after they've been approved?
Where are you talking about?
Your minutes. I was told
Online?
you kept the word draft on the document.
The bottom
Draft
line.
is until they're approved at this meeting, then they go
That's what
on.
I was trying to get at. Beautiful, no question then. Because I couldn't figure out, what? Oh, yes, I had a second one. Let's see. Oh, on the new form that you guys are gonna use for putting information on the agenda and everything, why not automate it instead of having a paper copy? Wouldn't it make it easier for you guys? You have a paper copy now, right?
Yeah,
Why have a paper copy?
It's on the website.
yeah.
It is a,
You can.
It's a paper, right?
yeah, it's still, you download it, you
Yeah.
print it. Yeah, no, I can add that into the website as
That's-
time goes on.
Yeah, it's already
I
there.
eventually can,
Yeah, because it
Make
makes it
something.
easier for you guys.
But when people,
And have a certain time period that's a cutoff, so that you have time to review.
Yeah, we did add that. That's on there now.
It's
Oh,
on,
good,
yeah.
good. Okay, I'm sorry, that was all it was.
Nick?
Can we have a quick discussion on the ambulance billing? I sent out those proposals that we were involved in. We're ready to move forward. The other municipalities that were involved in that RFP basically decided on which company we're going forward with. And if it's all right with you guys, Devin and I are gonna start working on the process to switch ambulance billing companies. And it's a lot of information. I don't know how much you want to be involved, or if you're good with the fact that the RFP went out and it was reviewed and that's the recommendation. So I guess I'm looking for some direction and approval to just go ahead and make it happen.
No, I mean, you
I don't
talked to me.
think any one of us need to get our fingers wet with that. I think they do a great job. within, they should be able to move forward with their process that they've always done before.
And I'll,
Right, I think they know what they're looking at more so than we do.
Yeah, yeah.
and I'll keep you in the loop every step of the way, but today we got an email. Basically, we contacted them, they got back in touch with us immediately. Said they're looking forward to working with us and gave us a huge list of stuff we have to do to start the transition. I grabbed the contract today from the old company. We have a 60-day buyout or notification to get out of the contract, which the contract expired in 2011, so we've been going year by year since 2011. So, and then as we've gone through and sent letters out from the department to people that were delinquent in their ambulance bills, it's becoming more and more noticeable why a lot of these bigger departments are switching or looking to switch. A lot of people weren't aware that they had ambulance bills. A lot of people, just a lot of stuff that's coming to the light now that we've kind of got our hands dirty working on it. So that's the direction we're going, unless you guys have another
It should improve
idea
your
or-
process then. How
Oh,
much
it's
money have
kinda-
you lost in the past with that other service?
What's that?
How much money have you lost, but just not claimed?
Right now, we're at $200,000 probably, and we're cleaning. We've been going through cleaning it up. I haven't gotten an updated list recently, but it's the nature of the business. That's not unusual, but based on the RFP, I think that you'll see a higher return, and that's what these towns are looking for. The percentage is I think it's a half a point more. It's 5.5% instead of 5% of what they collect, but I think based on everything I've read and people I've talked to, that 0.5% will make us money in the long run.
Yeah, no, thanks a lot. Yeah, it'll work.
If I need signatures, I'll let you know, but I think to get started, I should be able to go through with it.
Very good, thank you, Nick.
Do you need a motion?
It might make it easier. Either authorize Heather for preliminary signatures, or authorize Heather to work with me, or just authorize myself. Whatever you guys feel comfortable with, that doesn't matter.
I think Nick's been handling it pretty good so far, so I think he should be able to head that off.
All right, I'll make a motion. Is that fine?
Yep.
I'll make a
Do you want-
motion.
You want the company?
Sure.
Sure.
Over there, it's Enhanced Management Services.
I'll make a motion to have Nick move forward with enhanced management services.
Yep.
And make, and give Nick permission for any
Any
sandwiches.
approvals, yep.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, guys. I'll keep you in the loop. It's gonna be a long process. It's a lot of work that I don't wanna do, so trust me, it's for a good reason.
Okay, I'll close public comment, not seeing any.
Oh, don't forget about Larry.
Oh, no. There are three major areas to go over. And one is by now you figured out that I like process and standards. And the structure and function of the agenda. There should be old business, new business, other business that may come before the board. There is absolutely no reason to have selectmen's comments that do not come either under new business, other business that comes before the board, or old business. Old business requires a tickler, which in 2 weeks will ask Nick for backup and feedback on what he has done for the new management system for billing. Similarly, there should be, under old business, a list of tickler follow-up for where we stand on a new computer system. The introduction of the cameras as a selectman comment, and the introduction of billing for the fire department, recovery on the ambulance, are both new topics. They're not comments, and could have been addressed in a different structure of the meeting. That's one. Secondly, you may know that the Norway maintains a strategic world seed repository. I think it's Starhagen. It's an Arctic island north of the Arctic Circle, which is protected from a bomb blast. The permafrost is melting, and the tunnel leading to the repository is at risk. Global warming. If you read, you will find that in Dubai, they have worked on the logistics for planning, transport, and costs of taking glaciers from Antarctica. And even with a 20%, with an 80% loss, with tugboats and an enveloped tarpaulin, they figure they can get a 5-year freshwater supply in Dubai. There is in Antarctica the giant glacier, which has a 11-mile and increasing gash, and it will be the largest glacier ever calved. In 1870, compliments of the Civil War, the first United States weather forecasting system was put in place.
Thank you, Larry Brown. World News, right there.
And
And
you can consider. And the last thing is, you may know that Stratford County has one of the highest incidences of asthma and TB in the entire state. Compliments of Ohio.
Compliments of
Compliments of what?
Ohio.
do not ask why.
I know why.
Thanks, Larry.
Thank you, Larry.
Did you have something, Matt? No?
Air moves that way.
Okay.
Coriolis.
Coriolis.
Yes.
Coriolis.
Yes, effect.
Okay, I'll close public comment.
Well done, Larry.
Is there any other business that would come before the board?
One more question, if you don't mind.
I've closed public comment.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear it.
That's okay.
No, that's okay.
And who mumbles?
Things like new things that they wanna put on the agenda and stuff, why can't those be automated too? Because that way, you know, all the stuff you just said, that would already be there.
Sure. You're looking at the wrong guy though.
Oh, I am? Oh, who should I be looking at?
Website.
Oh, I know, no, I mean, for you to be able to put it on.
Oh, yeah.
He already knows.
Okay, I don't see any other business before the board, do I?
Sorry.
We can take my thumb and put it in that section. Rewind the tape, cut, paste.
We'll make the motion first, then discuss.
Are you all set, Heather?
I gotta talk to my yeah, I can't talk about it. Fine.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Okay, so I'm gonna end the public meeting. Right now, we're gonna go back into non-public.